First story. Trying to reconcile. Hey guys, so reconciliation is going well. Wife is putting massive effort in at home, life, in general, and our relationship. We do still have one sticking point though. When the affair happened, I contacted the spouse of the AP and let them know what was happening. I mentioned some things about my spouse, about them dressing up, personal hygiene stuff, etc. that had changed, and also sent video proof that I got of them together. When everything came out, my spouse was very hurt that I shared personal info about her with someone else like that. I got very angry, and basically said I didn't want to talk to them at all to begin with, etc. But long story short, my spouse changed her phone password, and refuses to show or acknowledge that she has deleted pics that she sent received with her AP, due to her alleged lack of trust that I won't tell someone. In fact, I'm sure that she hasn't. Well, I get it. This one thing makes me really seriously question the R process. Like I said, everything else has been very open. Help, closeness, constant check-ins. Showed when he tried to call her. Always calls constantly, now went out without me, everything and none of it I asked for. The only thing I did ask for besides no contact was to see the phone images and for them to be deleted while I watched. But that hasn't happened and is my sticking point. I infer that she doesn't want to make herself more vulnerable if I rage out and quit her and defame her or something, which I would never do. Also, she is absolutely wanting to stay together even after I tried to have her sign papers to self-start a divorce case initially, after which I agreed to try R. So what do you think? Edit 1. It's so crazy because she is doing everything right besides that, but I know you guys are right. She admitted that she still had feelings for him, but that she was trying to completely stop them. She's always been insane about keeping every picture, even of the dumbest stuff, and it's hard to end it over just the phone. But I think that you guys are right. Just sucks. I confronted her on last night and she said if that's the line, do what I need to do. And then brought me lunch today, cleaned our house, and basically took every action possible to make me feel bad. If I say it's still unacceptable. Update. Can I make it a week? Told my WW last weekend that to start R she would need to give me all the details of the affair. Not just some. Would need to unlock her phone. Let me use Life 360 with her to track and delete any pics she had of him in front of me. She said no but is trying to R still. I told her that I'm not okay with that and that she needs to decide quickly. Sunday is my end date for this. But every day I'm at work just wanting to be done and force a divorce and move on. When I go home with her in person I'm fine and actually want to stay-ish sometimes, but as soon as I'm alone I'm just chomping at the bit to move on and regain myself. Really wondering if I can make it to Sunday to have the final talk, or if this is even a good plan. Update. WW just found out I'm serious. I posted earlier about waiting until Sunday for my final confrontation. I got a lot of hate for that, but a big part of this process for me has honestly been growing a backbone and switching my mindset from provider and protector to preservation of myself. It's hard for me to put myself first, which I have been working towards incrementally. Honestly, I was raised to always put family first. Tomorrow, I will confront her rug sweeping and have the final convo about her actually doing what it takes. After that she will either leave the house or I will. I have everything set up for another place to stay for a few weeks if I need. I know that if I stay in the house with her she will manipulate me back in. This morning she realized that I have been transferring part of my pay to another account for the last few months and asked about it. I am at work until tomorrow morning at the moment. I told her the truth. It's savings for me to pay legal fees after what she did if we divorce, and if we ever reconciled instead it would be for a trip. Up until now I think she has been hedging on me not being able to pay for a divorce attorney, because all of our savings are in her account. Back in the day it was my idea so she could pay bills if I was overseas. This just happened, and she is now silent. I can tell she is probably freaking out at home right now because I do have the money to pay on hand at this very moment, and the lawyer is expecting my call Monday after a few consults. I'm mentally preparing for tomorrow or even today if she starts something later. It's honestly really hard to see the reality of someone you saw differently for so long, especially once the initial discovery rage wears off, but I'm getting there. I do appreciate all of the tough talk. I never imagined myself in this situation, and it's been hard to realize that my future life will not be how I've imagined it all these years. Second story. Got my heart broken for the first time. Me, male 19, female 19. I met this girl in my math class in late February. I got her number and it was going great, like almost two good things were moving fast, and I asked her to be my girlfriend in March. And she said we were almost there, give it a little more time. I understood because I realized that she probably wanted to take things slower. Everything was going good until mid-April. She started ignoring my texts and not bothering to respond. I put up with it for a week, and next class, she tells she's not ready for a relationship, let's just stay friends. That hurt a lot, but I was like, she probably isn't ready until 3 weeks pass and it's May. My old friends hit me up to hang out. I said why not I go, and they tell me one of them got a new girlfriend. And it was her. I was emotionally hurt, but I realized is that she just used me until the man she wanted came along. There were red flags as she just got a year-and-a-half relationship in December. But because I don't really have experience in dating, I just went with the flow and caught feelings. Now I think I became her rebound until she was able to be with my friend. Update. I wish I never met her. Fuck you for using me, leading me on like all our effort and time meant something. Like it was gonna be something special and good. Fuck you for lying and not going out of your way for me. How dare you use me, until you finally had the courage to ask out your class crush while we were going out and act like something wasn't going on. How dare you use for attention and help you heal. I've never done this to a person. How fucking shitty of you. Why did we go out as much as we did? Why did we do the things we did if you didn't want us to be a thing? How dare you go behind my back and ask out my childhood friend who I've known since 2nd grade? You are a disgusting person. I'm glad you left, because if anything you would have dragged me down with you. Just why, man, why? Update. I was a rebounds. Me M19 and F19. I met this girl who got out of a relationship back in December. I met her in February, and it was going great until middle of April. She told me she wasn't ready for a relationship, let's stay friends. It's me not you. 3 weeks later, my old high school friend group hits me up and asks me to hang out. I go why not? I find out one of them got a new girlfriend and it was her. Even when I told him about me and her, he is still with her. I was like wow. I asked this girl to be my girlfriend in March, and she said give it more time. I was like she probably does, but she just used me until she was able to get him. It's 2 months almost, but there's times where I am over but I'm not, and it doesn't help that I go to a small college and everyone knows everything. Can anyone relate or help give advice on how to proceed with my life? Update. She made me her rebound and gets with my former friend, me M19 and F19. I met this girl in late February in my class. We hit it off, it goes great. Some red flags like she got out a relationship in December and her BSF was a hoe, but she seemed very nice. Fast forward to March and I asked to be my GF. She says give it a little more time, we're almost there. I said okay, take it slower. April comes around, she starts acting weird, ignores me messages, says no to going out. I confront her, and she tells me I'm a great guy and it's me not you, I'm just not ready for a relationship. 3 weeks later, my old friend group from high asked to hang out. I go why not, and while I was over, one of them told they just got a new GF and it was her. I told them everything, we compared stories, she lied about body count and didn't even tell him about me and her. And even after I told him she used me basically, he still chose to stay with her. And I was like really, thanks, friendship is done. I needed to vent, but thoughts are appreciated. Third story. Girlfriend, F20. trusts the internet with her NSFW pictures more than she trusts me. I'm 23. My girlfriend has a NSFW account on Twitter and I am aware of it. She has not hid that fact from me and I was okay with it. We are very communicative, and we talk about our feelings, if bothered, and so far have not managed to face something we weren't able to get past and make our relationship stronger. Recently she's been busy with work, uni, and the fact that she lives with her strict parents, so she hasn't been able to come over or meet up with me as often. We started sexting, sending VNS, and she sent a few revealing but not nude pictures. After it with a day she asked me if I could delete them, which I was completely okay with. I also explained how if any of what we did made her feel uncomfortable in the slightest sense that we wouldn't do it again and can just stop. I care about her a lot and her well-being. Sense of safety and comfort in our relationship comes first to me. Recently I discovered her NSFW Twitter account, and I feel bad about it. I was not planning on going through it. But what caught my eye was her pinned tweet, which is the same picture she asked me to delete from my mobile. On a public Twitter account that can be seen and found by almost anyone, and they could save her picture. Granted, said picture does not show her face, and the account does not have her real name anywhere there. But I still can't help the feeling that I'm either doing something really wrong if my own girlfriend does not feel comfortable with me having a picture like that on my mobile and being willing to post it online for people to see, save, or interact with, or the fact that she might not be invested in a relationship as much as I'd hope. I am caught in a loop of overthinking between self-deprecating as I feel like I am invading her privacy, even though she offered to give me access to the account before, but I explained that I wouldn't want her to feel uncomfortable expressing herself, and for her to have her own space, and fear of investing and pouring my heart out when she might not be as committed as I am. Girlfriend is okay with posting NSFW pictures on Twitter, but is not okay with said pictures being saved on my phone. Update. I, 25M, am thinking of breaking up with my 2 years and a half, 22F, partner. I, 25M, am growing frustrated with me and my long-term partner's, 22F, inability to go on a few weeks without fighting or hurting our feelings. Hello everyone, I guess I am looking for advice. I have been dating, let's call her Lisa, for 2 years and 4 months officially, and before that, we took 4 months to get to know each other. Throughout our relationship, we went through a bunch of changes, from me graduating, to moving places, to serving in the military. My country has mandatory military service, to currently doing my master's, freelancing, and looking for a stable job. We do not live together and don't see each other often due to circumstances, work, and her university. I'll be moving to another country next year, which she is aware of and supports the idea as it'll be a good career move for me. She finishes her university in 2 years from now. She switched majors. Throughout our relationship, we have had many fights, arguments, disagreements, and had to work through major trauma caused by family, previous relationships, disagreements on future vision, and realizing those disagreements were caused by toxic households and family problems, and then having to move forward. I have been going through a bit of a mental health slump and have recently started antidepressants again. I have been growing ever more frustrated with our relationship lately, as we cannot go a few weeks without arguing, fighting, or going through a negative experience where our feelings are hurt, even if we aren't fighting. I don't think we've had a single month without fighting or arguing, or even a few weeks. I am not sure where to go from here and could use some advice. I apologize for the long read. Update. How do you accept and move past it? I, 27M, recently discovered that my partner, 23F, was cheating on me. Although there was no sexual contact or kissing, she spent time at another guy's place as a friend, cuddled with him, fell asleep in his bed, and was overly touchy on multiple occasions. I've tried giving her a second chance, and to her credit, she's genuinely working hard to make things right. Despite her efforts, I just can't seem to get over it. How do I move forward from here? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Fourth story. I'm Not the Only One song by Sam Smith. I've been in a relationship with my partner for a decade. We started as close companions before we discovered our mutual feelings. I genuinely believed she was my soulmate. A year ago, we decided to tie the knot. I was always hesitant about marriage due to my parents' separation caused by my mother's infidelity. I was in my early teens at the time and it had a profound impact on me. My father shared too many details and it was heartbreaking to see him suffer. Half a year post our wedding, my partner's behavior started to change. She kept insisting that I should spend more time with my family and that she wanted to take a half-year break alone. This change coincided with her having to commute to her workplace twice a week. The office was located in a city about 4 hours away, and she would stay overnight for convenience. I complied with her wishes, but deep down, I felt something was off. It felt like she was physically present but mentally absent. Every time she was with me, she seemed distracted, constantly on her phone and appeared uninterested. However, when she was with her friends, she seemed more lively. I confronted her about this and she accused me of being controlling and suffocating her. She also changed all her passwords. When I questioned her about this, she conveniently reminded me of my belief in individuality within a relationship. A few months later, she suggested we seek couples counseling and found a counselor who was far from competent. The sessions were dreadful, with her and the counselor ganging up on me, insisting that I needed to change and let her be herself. I took the initiative and found a highly recommended therapist who soon realized that I wasn't the problem. Despite our agreed-upon improvements, she never seemed to find the time to work on them. This went on for a grueling 6 months. In the last month, we seemed to be making progress. The therapist suggested we share our childhood traumas, followed by a kiss and a hug. She even commended our progress. I was elated and hopeful that things were finally looking up. We even planned a 2-week holiday together and she contributed to the expenses. 2 weeks before our holiday, she had to travel to the city again. I would wake up early as usual to drop her at the train station and stay up late to pick her up. She would leave all affectionate and return very distant. I couldn't resist the urge to check her old laptop and found that she was still logged into one of her social media accounts. That was the day my world came crashing down. I discovered that she had been flirting with multiple men and was in a full-fledged relationship with one of her colleagues. She had been sending him selfies during our intimate birthday dinner, which was just for the two of us, and he commented that the setting wasn't her style and that he would take her somewhere much fancier. She had been talking to him every day about everything, just like she used to with me. He would even advise her on what to do during our holiday. I could only dream of receiving such affection from her. I was shaking and went into full fight or flight mode. I couldn't eat or sleep for several days. The following day, we had a couples therapy session and I confronted her about this man. She denied everything and accused me of being paranoid, idiotic, and controlling. The therapist insisted that she needed to come clean, because we were wasting time and money if there was a third person involved. Later that day, she admitted to her actions and claimed that she didn't intend for it to happen. She said she had been faithful for 14 years and that it was my fault because the marriage wasn't what she had expected and she wasn't happy. She said I was perfect for her when we got together, but now she needed something different. She also said she still loved me but only as a friend. In my desperation, I told her that I was willing to forgive her if she ended things with the other guy, showed me proof of it, and committed to working on our marriage. She replied with "I don't know." I even pleaded with her, saying please give us another chance. 14 years is much more than half a year. I even pointed out that she was in her honeymoon period with him and it wasn't love. Just thinking of that makes me physically sick. I gave her a deadline to decide by the end of the weekend. She was taken aback by the deadline. I arranged another therapy session for Monday to get an answer. She said she didn't want to be with me because she would feel sorry for me. I told her that I didn't want her to be with me out of pity, but I needed an answer. She again said I don't know. The next day, I left. It's been nearly 2 months of no contact now. I've blocked her, her family, and all our mutual friends who would be neutral. I've left the country. A friend told me that she's been on holiday with her parents, enjoying herself, and hasn't told them about what she did. She simply said we broke up. Some crazy coincidence, I found out. My parents got married on the same day as me, and my father was cheated on when he was the same age as me. I have 2 questions that are tormenting me. Should I tell one of her relatives what happened? I know their entire family and we are quite close. I know I shouldn't, but it's killing me that she is portraying herself as the victim. Also, I don't want her new relationship to be all sunshine and rainbows as it started by ruining my life. Second is more of a logistical problem. We both live as expats and own a property together. I will eventually have to go back because of my job and she might be there. I've been having nightmares about it for weeks and I don't know how to face that. I want us to sell but have no idea how that works in the UK. She has previously mentioned she doesn't want to leave the house and is happy there. Also, how do you guys deal with the loneliness and pain that just doesn't stop? I go to therapy, exercise like crazy, and try to do things that always made me happy. I'm just completely numb. Fifth story. I discovered a whole new side of my GF personality and I don't know what to do after it. We both 18 and it's been about 5 years that we are together. Of course at 13 no one knows what a relationship is, but she always has been very mature and we've all learned a lot on ourselves and on what was a real adult relationship. We had our first time together and until 2 years ago it was perfect, and when there was a problem it was my fault. But 2 years ago, I told her I wanted myself to change and I really changed for the better. I was the kind to appreciate women attention, I totally admit it, but from then, I never broke my promise of being 100% honest on my actions and stuff. And I did it only for her and for us. But here the problem started. As I previously was the problem, I never thought about her being one too. So I trusted her blindly, until the image I had of her completely vanished when I learned about another side of her personality. To be quick, she is the kind to seek male attention and attention on social media too. She is narcissist. She has like 50 publications with about 1,000 stories. That was an issue for me at first. BCIDK? Why people want other people they don't know saying them, but I learned to accept that she deeply likes it. Another problem was that she hid an anonymous TikTok account, where she kept posting lies about how I was bad and stuff, until a friend of mine told me about it. This TikTok account had like hundreds of posts like this, or post where she's like, what do I like the most? Male attention, when he really does what he says he would. Even if she wasn't talking at me in that one, as I never entertained such convo, so who's she talking at? BC, she never told me about her cheating. There's another post where she say she did, but whenever I'll ask she denies everything. She lies out and sometimes for useless reasons, which kind of remind me of myself before the change. I discovered she slept with like 4 guys and 2 times. She never told me it before I confronted her about it, but she keeps telling me she didn't cheat, never even a kiss or STG, which I find FCK and strange. She lies very well, like better than me, and I consider myself a good one. And sometimes tells me she didn't go at a party when she was. She manages taking pics where I would trust her until someone tells me the truth. So now I am with a girl I thought I knew perfectly, which turns out I don't know at all. And I hate this feeling. Of course we went to the reassure me phase where I simply asked her to prove anything she says she's doing, for me to gain trust again. She never did a single effort. I mean, she says she did, but nothing changed at all. She continues lying again and again. Oh, and of course the reason why she did that was BC, I knew you would react that way, or I didn't want to make an argument. It was to protect your feelings. The main thing I want your advice on is to what extent do you think I exaggerate or what should I do? I can't really think apt leaving her until I know for a fact that she did SDG, and she can't get better if she don't tell me she did. So if she keeps telling me she didn't, I'm fucked, guys. In either way I lived with it by thinking it was a backfire of what I previously did and that it is what I deserve. I never thought I would be asking help on Reddit, so imagine how much I need your help. For the ones who lived a similar situation, please tell me. I really hope to get help from you guys. Stay safe.